Hello YouTube, we are coming at you today with a new innovative deck for Standard that Ryan Fraking pioneered this weekend in the 5K SCG Kaldheim Open, not Open, Qualifier Invitational Tournament, big tournament. We went 5-3 with the deck, but it was innovative, it's different, it's not, your standard Gruul or Rogues or Mono Green Food, right? It's innovative. This is Jund Sacrifice, and again, this is Standard, not historic, we don't have Collected Company. We don't have, Cauldron Familiar because that was banned, but this is still an interesting deck. We have some interesting sacrifice outlets here. We have, the Witch's Oven. We have Village Rites, big part of the deck. We have Rankle, and kind of the glue that holds the deck together. The big reason why this is Jund Sacrifice and not Rakdos Sacrifice is Corvold. That's the only green card we're playing in this Jund deck. But I mentioned the sacrifice outlets. Oh, there's also Woe Strider. I didn't mention Woe Strider. It's a free, cheap sack outlet. You're running ways to steal your opponent's creatures. You have 7 of those effects in the main board, 4 Claim the Firstborn, and then there's 3 Akroan Wars. There's another Akroan War in the sideboard. And in addition to those sacrifice outlets, those stealing effects, you're running a decent removal suite as well. You've got 8 removal spells, and then 2 more if you count your Shatterskull Smashings. We're running 2 Bloodchief's Thirst, 2 Heartless Axe, then all those Bone Crusher Giants, which are both stomps and 4/3 creatures. And then there's also Kroxa, and you can sacrifice that as it is going to the graveyard. We've got Skyclave Shade, again you can sacrifice that, and then Timeric Calls the Dead. And that's kind of the deck there in a nutshell. Sideboard, fairly simple. You've got some hand hate things for the more control-y decks. You have Phoenix of Ash and Ox for, rogue decks that are going to be milling you. Kroxa you can bring in as well, potentially, depending on how they have their sideboard configured. And then there's also Embereth Shieldbreaker and that other Akroan War and Eliminate that I mentioned for kind of Gruul aggro. So there we have it. We have the deck in a nutshell. We have the basic components. Let's see how it runs on the ladder. Okay, opponent goes first. They aren't on a companion, which is encouraging. We do, I think, have a decent start. Bloodchief's Thirst seems like a nice T1 play. We have Village Rites, we have a Skyclave Shade. We also have an Akroan War that we can maybe deploy later down the road, depending on what my opponent is playing. And some Brazil sleeves going on. Perhaps they are soccer fans or from Brazil. Okay, they play Forest. Interesting start. We'll play a Swamp. I don't think they're going to be expecting Bloodchief's Thirst. I think it has fallen somewhat out of favor in at least the current standard archetypes. They do play a mountain, though. Interesting. If we want to run out, I guess we can try going to the second main and see if they have a stop. They do. On the turn. We're going to have to shade into a stop. Hey, stop it is. One could just play out the Bone Crusher. Wouldn't be surprised if they did that. Yep. So we potentially have a nice T4 land up by just stealing what they have. Okay, we do get our next land drop as well. So I'm fine just playing out the Bone Crusher. Depending on what they play, trading so they can Ember Cleave as easily. Seems like a decent enough plan. And now next turn we can bolt Shatterskull and we can either Bloodchief, Akroan War. One attacks for 4. I think we block it here, like I said. Keep them off of Embercleave. Keep them away from any Great Henges that might be creeping closer. Love Struck is fine as well. We can potentially eat some of their creatures too because we got this nice blocker. See what they play this turn. No, they play Vivian. Bloodchief's Thirst will deal with that, and the effect on the Akroan War is going to make them have to, throw their lives away to my Love Struck Beast. Opponent probably isn't sure what's going on yet. They go for reach. It's kind of a heads up play, knowing because we know we have rankle, right? That is something that could have just flown over their defenses and made them sacrifice creatures or pitch cards or whatever. But we do get to kill Vivian because we held on to that Bloodchief's Thirst instead of pitching it away to the 1/1 over there. So that's also, I guess, a nice benefit to Bloodchief's Thirst. It is versatile. That kick ability is very nice. One has to attack. Could Embercleave. But if they do that, they throw away their Lovestruck Beast and their token. I'm gonna put full control on so we can sack it to Village Rites before we the trigger goes in the stack. Like Kazandu Mammoth, sure. And a Scavenging Ooze, okay. That's potentially scary. Maybe Village Rites. Sack the Beast. Draw 2. Okay, we get 2 lands. We also get Corvold. So we have a few choices here. Okay, the token kills itself. I think we want to get a 4 drop down, mainly one of those Akroan Wars. So if Triumph isn't the Jund Triumph, so we couldn't even cast Corvold next turn if we wanted to. Question is, which do we take between Mammoth and Skoos? Skoos is going to prove problematic down the road because it's going to eat Kroxa. Mammoth is going to pose a quicker turn for them to get to Great Henge. So we'll take that. See what they do. I'm hoping the Kroxa is going to be enough to get them low on cards, so maybe hit a Henge out of their hand. Thing too is the Akroan War is going to make the ooze die when it attacks, unless they get rid of it. So I think here, take the block. They Embercleave. Wow, okay. Wow, okay. So I think I have to take the Skoos, right? Because I can just target 3 creatures, kill me next turn. So as much as it is a painful play, we're going to take their Skoos, and we're going to play a Savai Triumph. And hope that we can draw a sack outlet quickly. So if we draw a forest, that would be amazing. Or a Fable Passage, we can just hit them for 6, play Corvold, sack their Skoos, draw a card. And if we draw that, we would also be able to play Kroxa, hit one of the cards in their hand, and draw another card. We just have to get that green source. All our troubles are gone, right? They stomp me. Okay. Play a Bone Crusher. Okay, so now that they have a second creature, they can unequip Embercleave and equip it to Bone Crusher for 3, then they'd attack me for 10. We're currently dead to that. Well, I guess not technically dead, because we do have a blocker. We have their blocker we can use. Eat 3 of that, or 2 of that damage. So we go to 1 if we were to do that. Alternate plans are we could can't escape Croxa. Actually, yes we can. Yeah, that's the play, right? Yeah, then we only take. We can double block. Yeah, okay. We have just enough to escape Croxa. They pitch their 1 card. There's another Skews. Escape Croxa. I guess we'll play a Triumph so I can more easily cycle next turn. We attack here for 6. Opponent goes to 9. And they have to attack with Bone Crusher next turn. So they're going to be only having Skews. And it would be untapped because I untap first and then the trigger hits. They would have to block or they would lose, right? I guess it depends on what they do with their mana. They would have 3 green. Yeah, I think we don't want to attack with Skews here. I think we just want to jump block. But it does bother equipping. Suppose that's a wise idea. I didn't think that they would just attack. I thought they would equip the Embercleave. In that case, maybe I probably should have attacked with Skews. Though in that hand, they would have still had a Skews equipped with Embercleave. Didn't have any. We would have turned too late, unfortunately. Very unfortunate. One does have 4 green mana, and I'm sure that there are 4 creatures in graveyards. Yeah, there's like 5 in my opponent's graveyard alone. So they can definitely eat Croxa here. So we can't play this, though. And I think in the interest of maybe finding a removal spell, we are not going to sack the Shade here. Attack a Swamp. Removal spell, removal spell. No. The Fabled, yeah, would have been nice to sack the Corvold. So there are exactly 5 creatures in my opponent's graveyard. They can make Skews an 8/8. Attack for 16 damage, basically, right? And wouldn't really be able to stop it. So I mean, I guess we just have to pass. Cycle Trial, double block. Hope we find a Claim the Firstborn. If they pump up their Skews to be huge, it might be enough to one-shot them. the crackback. And with that line in mind, probably should have played out this Shade and cycled the following turn. Because all the ways that I have to interact with Scoos or to take it, really, would be, enough that I could cycle and play one of those, right? Because I have 7 mana, I could cycle and play an Akroan War. Were I to find, I think is there one more? There are no more Akroan Wars, but there are still 4 Claim the Firstborns. Anyways, yeah, my opponent does all the consuming here. Play Great Henge, sure. Gonna be a doozy. You got double block still. So put one creature they can make, so they can deal 14 damage, or 16 damage rather, instead of just the 14 that they have now. That's if they commit the extra mana. Okay, they do. Oh, they get even more damage. Smart. Okay, they get me to 3. Sure. Cycle the Triumph. Okay, a land. Bone Crusher. That's not going to do it. I think they got us. Dang. Okay, so we can maybe switch Heartless Act or eliminate. We can put in the extra war, put in a couple of shield breakers. Shade is probably going to be fairly bad against them, just because they have those Love-Struck Beasts and can't block, so it's already kind of at a disadvantage. Timurit Calls the Dead seems kind of slow and kind of bad in this matchup. Okay, we'll try playing first again. It's an okay hand, if a bit slow. We do have a nice T2 play in Kroxa. No T3 play to follow it up. But we do have a Crowan War and a Rankle as well as a way to sack whatever we take with the war. When we're ready, of course. We do have to be mindful of them just playing a T2 Skews and eating Kroxa. That would not be great. So perhaps that is a reason to hold off on playing a T2 Kroxa. Especially since we could draw a Village Rites and would love to, sack Kroxa to Village Rites. Claim is interesting as well because it offers us another way to steal something of our opponents and then sack it to Rankle. Opponent plays Heart's Desire. Okay. They do have 2 mountains, or 2 forests though, so if they play another land, they can go Scoos into eating something. I guess we'll just pass the turn. Ready to go for the war. Take their beast. could have a wilt. If I were them, I would definitely sideboard in some wilts, maybe Vivians as well, because this deck I think is going to have a hard time dealing with creatures or planeswalkers that resolve. We have the Bloodchief's Thirst, but we only have 2 of them. A lot of our stuff makes people sacrifice creatures or takes people's creatures, so that's just another thing we have to keep in mind. Another Akroan War, okay. So you're going to run out the pathway as a green source. We're going to war, take the Mammoth, delay the Great Henge, presumably. Then we can attack with Rankle as well. Okay, they play a Fable Passage, they crack it immediately. You can run it like a Questing Beast or something, or the 4-mana Garruk. Crone War of their own, interesting. Maybe for 1. Sure. But what we can do is claim the Firstborn on the Mammoth, play Mountain, play Rankle, hit for 8. Sack a creature, I guess. I guess we can view the battlefield. Only 1 could in graveyard, so I don't think I want to pitch Croxy yet. We have a Akroan War as well, so we can take whatever they're playing next. Problem with taking their Love Struck Beast, if they were to play that, is we can't really attack with it, right? We don't have any 1-drops in the deck. So that's a bit unfortunate. Because we saw there, we just got to deal 5 damage to them with their own Mammoth and then sacrifice it. Okay, they don't play anything. Interesting indeed, but we will... Oh, okay. I'm not sure what they're up to. They might have a Soul Scar. Soul Seer. I think we just want to attack here. See what they have. See if they kill Rankle. Okay. Need to hit them. I think we don't do anything. And we go hold full control. Play Croxa. Full control is still on, and then we Village Rites. Taking the Croxa. They could Soul Scar, Soul Seer, Rankle now. It is a shame we don't have more blacks. You know, now we could have all up on other Village Rites. Here I think we're going to hold on to the Shatter Soul Smashing. It'd prove useful. They stomp me. Rankle is going to die here from the Akroan War. But that couldn't have been prevented. See, we can just run out like Akroan War, Village Rites, and play Corvold. Seems good to me. Another Heart's Desire. And a land. Okay, so they have 2 mystery cards in their hand. But I don't think I want to chance neither of them being a Great Henge. So we're just going to take the Love Struck. Because we have an instant way of sacking as well, we can be a little trickier with how we do our sacrificing. Because we can, not sack the turn when this sticks up to 2, we can wait for them to attack, we get a next block out of it, then we sack on my upkeep before we have to sacrifice their Akroan War and give the beast back. That way getting more value. They play out their other beast, sure. Okay, we find a shield breaker. That actually gives us a way to deal with our opponent's Great Henge, should they have one. So here, I guess we're going to bolt in the Shatter Skull. We're going to play the Corvold, sacking a mountain. Okay, we draw another card. Find the Temple of Malice. So if one is Embercleave, now that's something I have to be wary of. It hit me for 12. I have to attack, whether I like to or not. I had a Great Henge that would have already played it. Okay, no Embercleave. Nice. Soul Seer, no Village Rites. We have another Corvold waiting in the wings. Got 3 cards off that. Nice, and we find another war. Very nice. And another war. Okay. So over here, this will play a Temple of Malice. Timuric calls the dead. We could bottom that. Just get Croxa. That seems like a good play, actually. It's going to be outside of Soul Seer range. It's going to hit their hand further. Puts the pressure on. They're at 9 life as well, so that is going to be very helpful here. I had an Embercleave. That seems like a big mistake for them not to play that Embercleave there. Play Vivian. Okay. We have a Bloodchief's Thirst. We Bloodchief's Thirst, the token, hit for 6. Or we kick Bloodchief's Thirst, hit Vivian, attack them. We have 2 men up. You'll be able to crack back with an Embercleave, hit me for 8. That's not going to kill me. I guess we attack them. See if they want to block with the token. Hit their hand a little more. Ah, Ox of Agonis. Okay, they take the chump. And kick the Bloodchief's Thirst. Play out the Ember's Shieldbreaker. Potentially get them to 1. Yeah, we'll play it out. We'll just get a bigger board presence here. I think the play... They might not. They might not cast Ox. We don't know what else is in their hand. These two cards are. But their artifacts right now aren't going to be scary. Right? This is a terrible board for Embercleave. They don't have the way to cast Great Henge. Yeah, okay, so they cast Ox. Take it. So they did have a Henge as well. Interesting. Yeah, they play another land. Get it a Bonecrusher Giant. We get another land as well. So we Akroan War, take their Ox. Attack for 6. I'm okay with attacking with both. Theoretically should have played the Wolf Strider first, so if they did block the 2-1, the Embereth, we could still have some game. Okay, but they do end up blocking the Kroxa. Okay. Perhaps a good read on my part. A good prediction. Ways to eke out extra damage. Okay, but opponent's probably gonna do the same thing that they did last turn. Just oh, they Akroan War first. Sure. We'll see what they take. Take the Woe Strider. And then what, they're going to play Ox. I think we just sack the 0-1. Maybe do Scrying. Rankle's going to do it, yeah. So we play Rankle. They have no cards in hand, so they have to. Okay, they just, yeah, they lose. You consider taking out an Oven, putting in another Heartless Act. So we can Fable for eliminate, or Fable for black, get eliminate mana up. Then on 4 we cast a Akroan War, and on 5 we cast a Rankle. I want to take a long time. I think we're going to try keeping this. They start with the tap land. We find a Stomp. That's nice too. It's a good pickup. Good pickup, as they say. Okay, they go Heart's Desire. Sure. What they follow it up with, if anything? If they have an Innkeeper? No, okay, they play a tapped Shatterskull Smashing. No, skulls will be shattered today. Grab that swamp. Okay. So we could play out the Triumph, but I think it's probably better to hold up Stomp. Next turn we can play the Triumph, free of charge. We're gonna have it tapped anyway. One hits me for 1. Sure, we'll take 1 damage. And then kill whatever they play next. Okay, it's a Love Struck. We have Eliminate just for the occasion. We have a Stomp for anything else they try to pull. Find Corval, that's going to be a very nice T5 play as well. Could follow up the Akroan War, depending on what my opponent does. Depending on how many Wilts they have, or Akroan Wars of their own. Opponent plays a Brushfire. Sure, we'll Stomp it while the effect's on the stack. Okay, we get rid of that. 1 hits me for 1. Sure. Find another mountain. We'll play Mountain, saving the Fable Passage for Corvold. And I'm not going to Akroan War a 1-1. They might Stomp me. I'm good thinking about it. Okay, yep, they do. 2 damage to me, to my face. Okay, opponent plays their 5th land. So, opponent is a Bone Crusher. They're maybe thinking about running that out, or maybe running out a Planeswalker. They're eyeing my graveyard. They might have a Scooz in hand, maybe thinking about what they can eat. They only have 2 targets right now. They aren't the Bone Crusher. Okay. Ooh, Claim is very good. So we claim Bone Crusher. Play Pathway as a green source. Play Rankle. Back for 8. Or 11, rather. Oh god, which one's mine? Okay, this one has haste, so it's not mine. Okay. If I play Corvold, sack, and then play Fable Passage, pretty much invulnerable. It's got 6 toughness. The other way though is I'm gonna be drawing a card anyway. I have a Akroan War. They had good stuff in their hand, evidently, because they were debating what to do. Make them discard a card and sack a creature. Pitch Fabled. Sack the Bone Crusher with haste, which is not mine. Yeah, they pitched in a Akroan War. Nice. Play another one though. Sure. Take a Rankle. Sure, will a Akroan War back. Rankle. Great, Rankle War. Back for 4 in the air. Pass the turn. I have to attack next turn. But we can Corvold to eat something on the ground if they have a good blocker. Play a land though. Okay, it's close. Neck and neck. Opponent plays a Scavenging Ooze. Okay, well, that's not going to cut it. They could buff it to 4. Or... No, I think we want to... Corvold. We have to attack with both, right? So we can't hold back the Bone Crusher. I guess we should play out Corvold first, because we could draw Village Rites. If we want to sack that, that would be bad. Okay, thought about it, almost did it, but caught myself in the nick of time. Shieldbreaker's a nice pickup. We attack both. Probably chump with Scooz. Yeah, they jump with Scooz. Okay, yep, they munch once. Munch twice. So the thing too here is I can make us both discard a card, pitch the Shield Breaker. Could even make us both sack a creature. So we sack Rankle. Corval gets out of Soul Seer range. I'm kind of a fan of that, to be honest. Getting Corval to 6 feels like it's just going to be backbreaking. Especially when I have a Akroan Warp back up, so they can't even take Corval. Okay, they stomp me. Sack Rankle. I will pass it. That's real nice with Corvold. We're going to sack a Akroan War next turn, so we get another free card. So actually, we have lethal next turn. Is all the sacking that's going to happen. Like, okay. Yeah, they're just dead on board. They don't know it yet. But they are. You can find a claim. Okay, this is gross. You can claim the Love Struck. Actually, they would have known because I can attack and sack something, right? I have to sack something. Yeah, we got this. Sack the Love Struck, get 8/8. Corvold shines again as a disgusting card. Here we go. So that was a fun little tour, I think, with the deck. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked what you saw, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know how you would have sideboarded, what you would have done differently, what decks you've been seeing in tournaments on the ladder that you think would be fun to play. Let me know. I'd always love to hear from you guys. So see you next time. Big Mitts out.